All right, everyone, to continue off our gas safety segment, I am very honored and excited to chat today with one of CO2Meter's valued partners, Leonard Syrups. Today, I get a chance to speak with Leonard Syrups' VP of Business Development, Lucas Iskra. And Leonard's story stems back all the way to 1965, where the company made its name with beverage syrups. Today, they've continued to explode with further offerings outside of syrups, such as bulk CO2, draft beer and liquor equipment, soda and ice machines, frozen carbonated beverage, and repair services. Today, Leonard Syrups is also recognized as the go-to and regional leader for quality beverage and gas solutions, selling to bars, restaurants, and numerous other commercial locations. Leonard's is also a huge safety advocate and stands by CO2 safety monitoring in the workplace, not only for their customers, but for their partners, facility, and staff. I'm very excited to be here today with Lucas to gain just a little bit more insight on their take on gas safety in the workplace and on our partnership. Let's dive right in. It's Morgan Morris, VP of Marketing, live at CO2Meter, and today we are going to continue off our gas safety segment with someone I'm very excited and honored to meet with today, Lucas Iskra, Vice President of Business Development at Leonard Syrups in Detroit, Michigan. So for those that do not know, Leonard Syrups is one of the leading beverage, gas, draft beer equipment, and Coke syrup suppliers. They've been at it since 1964, and they're also a huge partner of CO2Meter. So I'm excited to be here today with you, Lucas. Thank you for taking time out, especially post-Memorial Day weekend. I know that can be crazy.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks for having us, Morgan. We're happy to talk about our relationship with CO2Meter and all the good things that come with that. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. So to kick things off, Lucas, I would love to know just a little bit more about Leonard Syrups, obviously a huge family company. Any background in your role there?
Yeah, of course. So like you said, Leonard started in 1964 as a bulk syrup manufacturer and provider. So we're celebrating our 60th year in business this year, which is really exciting and we're really proud of. And like you said, we're a family-owned business, a supplier of beverage gases. We do draft beer installations, draft beer line cleaning. We do syrups and bag-in-the-box, and we also do bulk CO2. And my role as Vice President of Business Development entails just about a little bit of everything. I really focus on new sales, new account sales, and new business verticals that we may be looking at and kind of game planning what that might look like for the future. And I'm fourth generation, so I work here currently with my grandfather, my uncle, my younger brother, Mark, who most people probably know, and my mother, Sherry, who most people also probably know. And my great-grandfather started the business alongside my grandfather in 1964. Definitely a family-owned, family-operated business.
That's amazing. So you've known nothing else. Beverage
I've known,
love.
as we all do, right? So it's the only thing I know and probably the only thing I'll know for the rest of my life. So it's definitely a huge part of my life, if not all of my life. I love the beverage industry, and it's definitely something I'm going to be staying in for a very long time.
Well, that's excellent. I know I myself am actually from Detroit, Michigan, so I've seen the rainbow trucks long before CO2Meter. You guys are just huge, and like you mentioned, you guys have expanded, so I feel like that has to be a great thing, just to be able to do that with your family alongside.
It's been a very, very fun, very exciting, and a lot of good things coming to it in the future to look forward to.
Excellent. So let's talk about the gas component. Obviously, in the beverage world, CO2 is a critical element, if not the most critical. Obviously, if there's a fast food establishment, they run out of CO2, that is a downfall. But with CO2, there are safety hazards, which I feel like not everyone is aware of. How do you feel about gas safety? I'd love to know just how important it is for Leonard's, whether it be in your facility for your guys or for your customers out there as well.
Yeah, definitely. Safety is one of our core values, as I think it is with most family-owned businesses, especially in the gas industry. Working with hazardous materials, safety has to take a forefront. It has to be something that's part of your culture. And here at Leonard's, it's something we definitely we strive to have that safety first mindset. And when it comes to gas, we're one of the, if not the largest independent CO2 distributor in the state of Michigan. And along with that comes, gas safety for CO2. So here in the shop, we have a CO2 meter rad unit that sits in we park all of our bulk CO2 trucks indoors overnight to help with loss. And so doing that obviously comes with an inherent risk of CO2 weeping out of the safety valves in the CO2 tanks on the trucks. And so we had to install a unit. We make sure that unit's always operational. We actually do a weekly check, so to speak, where we just make sure it's still working and everything's in good order. And then also on the external side, with our beer line cleaning division, we have team members that are in and out of beer coolers constantly, all day, every day of the week. So that we, not only for the customers, but also for our team members that are always in and out of our customer locations, the CO2 monitoring and the safety aspect is huge, especially in enclosed encounters like a beer cooler. And with our natural linkage, like you mentioned before, with the draft beer and the bulk syrups and then the CO2, we have team members that maybe 2 or 3 different departments in the same customer location throughout the day, and maybe not communicating, so to speak. Maybe there's a CO2 leak, and so having those monitors is crucial. And we actually have all of our team members carry personal CO2 monitors from CO2Meter as well, that they keep on them at all times, just in case. So safety in that respect is very important to us. It's something that we definitely strive for as a safety first mindset within our company.
But no, that's so good to hear. Like you mentioned, so many different potential points of risk, but it sounds like you guys are on top of the game, obviously, with not only the fix for your facility, but the portable for your guys on the job, which is huge. Is there any trends or issues, Lucas, that you see in the market that has able to drive your decision to install the monitors?
There's been a few trends that we've seen, especially with the local jurisdictions here in the state of Michigan, with cannabis becoming legal in 2020, legal for recreational use. We saw a huge push for CO2 safety that was driven by the counties and the municipalities. But like I said before that, even 5-10 years before that, we've been installing them just out of pure covering kind of any safety risks that we might have. And so the trends that we're seeing kind of are driven more on the municipality side, just kind of inspectors, fire departments becoming a little bit more open to the idea that CO2 can be a dangerous gas when it's used in improperly or in accidental situations, and just kind of mitigating that risk is what we're seeing on the municipality side. And that's really what's driving our need to install the monitors. But again, we're really trying to install that safety first mindset as a company. And one trend we're trying to drive is, if we're doing a bulk CO2 installation of a tank and providing the gas to a customer, we really push that they install any type of gas monitoring, just to ensure that even if it's not required by your municipality, we want to ensure that we're providing the safest work environment for their team members as well as our own. We're getting to the point now as a company where we may turn down a bulk CO2 installation if the customer is unwilling to install a monitor. So it's definitely something that we're trying to really drive home, is that safety first mentality within the company, as well as what the municipalities are showing us in their trends.
That's perfect. I love to gain the real field feedback, and I love to see it from both sides, obviously having that safety first mindset, but being able to meet the codes and requirements, as you've mentioned, and they have become so stringent, and especially in different municipalities, different locations. So I think that's huge that you guys are really having that safety first mindset. And I know you all are also hugely tied with different industry associations and safety organizations as well, which I've seen with like the IBDEA and CGA, just to name a few. I know also, I wasn't going to mention this, but now it's top of mind. I think you guys are also doing different educational courses too now, if I'm not mistaken. With some of those associations.
We are. So we're going to be hosting the IBDEA's Carbonation School, as well as their Draft Beer Academy. We're going to be hosting here at Leonard's permanently now. So that's really exciting for us. And gas detection is a huge part of those schools now. And as we are, kind of like I was saying with the municipalities and with the marijuana stuff coming online in 2020 in the state of Michigan, we've really seen a big push towards gas safety from the municipality aspect. So we like to view ourselves as experienced in that space. So we're really honored that we're able to host and co-teach those classes for the IBDA and for anybody else that's looking to get educated on anything to do with carbonation and serving beverages in the restaurant world. So we're very excited about that.
It definitely is. I know, it just came to mind, so I wanted to make sure that I mentioned it. Not only obviously having those solutions in place, but being able to really educate and further give more awareness on the topic, I think is huge. So I'll have to link that here for anyone that is interested. I know that's going to be a huge turnout. So super exciting. To talk a little bit too about our partnership, Lucas, obviously we've been partners for a long time now. Like I mentioned, affiliated with a lot of the same industries and organizations. I love just to gauge understanding of why CO2 meter. Obviously, there's other gas detection solution providers out there. Could you tell us just a little bit of why Leonard's or yourself chose to work with us as a gas detection provider?
Yeah, absolutely. There's several big points. There's lots of reasons. Some big points that we look for specifically with CO2 meters. Ease of install is a huge thing for our team. The state of Michigan especially has been sort of on the same lines as I've mentioned a bunch throughout this conversation with like Arizona, Colorado. It's very strict in terms of what the municipalities are looking for. So CO2 meter provides a really easy to install monitor. You can just really plug and play. And that's something that our team and our company really values, as it's important when we're installing a lot of monitors every week that we have the ability to install quickly, safely, and know that we're doing the right thing every time. And CO2 meter really allows us to do that, as well as CO2 meter is kind of other than the products, the service that you guys provide there in terms of your expertise, in terms of what different municipalities are looking for, fire code interpretation, potentially these fire codes and what inspectors might be looking for. That we can't really put a value to that, especially in our company. And that's a huge reason why we love working with CO2 meter and why the partnership's so valuable to us, is just that industry knowledge that helps us stay on the forefront of safety and technology and allows us to better serve our customers in the safest environment possible. And I think that really adds something that's, not numerical to our partnership. It's something that can't really be defined. And it's something that we value to the highest extent. It's really invaluable, is that expertise and that knowledge. And that's really what sets CO2 meter apart.
No, we really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Lucas. I know that's actually one of our core values here, is not just being a solutions provider, but really being able to be a resource for others. I think that's what drives us home the most, is really working with our partners, being able to be there, if they have a question, whether it be municipality or regulations, or whether it be CO2 hazards or an SOP, so that their facilities or their guys really know what to do if a CO2 leak was to occur and how to use the monitors. So I do just have one final question that I'd be curious to know, and it is just on advice. If you were to give someone in the field one piece of advice as it pertains to gas safety, I'd be curious what it would be and why.
Yeah, it's a great question. I would say my one piece of advice would be you can never be too safe. So if you're questioning whether or not you might need something, or whether or not it's the right idea to put up, let's say, a monitor, since we're talking about monitors, if it's the right place to put a monitor, if it's really necessary, you can never really be too safe. And I think that that's something that as a company, as I've said too in the previous questions and throughout this conversation, that if you have that safety first mindset, it becomes a lot easier to discuss that with your customers who may be pushing back and saying, I don't really want to spend money on a monitor, whatever the pushback might be. If you really harness that safety first mindset, that can really put a stop to some of those questions and some of that pushback. And I think that would be my biggest piece of advice, is you can never be too safe, and covering your own risks also could potentially save somebody's life in that customer location. So I think it's always good to err on the side of safety and go that extra mile if you can. I think that's my main point of advice, is just you can never really be too safe.
No, I think that was perfect. That was right on the point. It's better to be safety minded than safety blinded, is what we typically
That's
say.
Great.
Here
I like
as
that.
Well, excellent. I feel like, Lucas, we've hit the nail on the head on a few different areas. You've given me, just in myself, so much insight to really how Leonard's is advocating for CO2 safety, what you guys are doing in our partnership, which has been great. But for those viewers that are watching that would obviously love to learn more about Leonard Syrups, maybe even connect with you if they can, where would be the best place for people watching to learn more about Leonard?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our website, www.leonardsyrups.com, is probably the best place to start. We've got a contact us page. you can submit a request. But if you wanted to connect with me personally, or to just see some daily, weekly, monthly updates that may not be as serious as the website, LinkedIn's a great resource that we try to stay up with, as well as Instagram if you're looking for some more fun, team member focused spotlights. Instagram's a great place to see some more lighthearted things with Leonard Syrups. But I would say LinkedIn, definitely, if you want to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn, and so is the company as well. It's a great place to get some smaller updates that we might do on a more regular basis.
Excellent. Well, I will be sure to link that here for everyone watching, but there you have it. So much great partner insight from fourth generation himself, Lucas Iskra with Leonard Syrups. Thank you so much for highlighting just gas safety as a whole, how again you're using the monitors, how you're advocating that safety first mindset in the field. I learned a great deal. I know others will as well. So thank you for your partnership, Lucas, so much.
Of course, Morgan. Yes, and thank you for your partnership as well. Happy to work with you guys.